What's up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Now in today's YouTube video, I'll be going over the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie. So let's get right into it. Now to start off with how we're going to do this is we're breaking down into three parts plus a bonus. The three parts are going to be the three main fights plus the extra stuff, and then we're going to have the backstory of Akaza. So let's get right into it. Now to start off, we have Tanjiro and actually, no, we start off with the Master, which is what everyone calls him, so I'm just going to call him the Master. And then we see, I think his name was Gyuk or something like that. So the Master is planning on sacrificing himself so they can try to defeat Muzan. And he says that that Gyuk is the only one that can agree to that and accept that. So then we cut to Muzan, and a person is stabbing him, trying to restrict him from moving. But he makes the Infinity Castle, and then everyone gets split up. We see that Tanjiro is falling down, and he's about to he's not going to make it. But then we see Gyuk save his life, and then we see everyone split up. Then we see Shinobu fall all the way down to the bottom, where we see the upper two eating people. And the upper two is about to eat another person, but then Shinobu saves that person, or so she thinks. The person actually got cut up by the upper two demon. And I think he's upper two. He's the ice blood demon. Yeah. I don't exactly know too much of the demons' names, but yeah, he's the blood and ice one. But I think he's upper two. But yeah, anyway, so as we move on, we see that she's about to fight him. She starts off by using her breathing style of bugs to try to get some extra damage in. And then eventually, she almost actually killed him, but then the upper two demon says you have to aim for the neck. So she starts doing that, and she actually stabs him, and she actually is able to use her poison ability to poison the upper two demon, or the blood demon. And as the demon is poisoned, is actually about to kill him, but he adapts to the poison very quickly. And she keeps trying to do that same attack, but we find out that her body is not big enough or strong enough to be able to dish out the attack that she needs to defeat the upper two demon. Then we see, Gyuk and everyone, and they're all just running, and they're all split up. And yeah, we come right back to Shinobu. I really don't know why that was there. But then they're fighting, and then she actually gets cut really bad in her lungs, and she gets up because she sees a picture of her sister, and her sister actually died to the upper two demon. But she has to avenge her. Now, she does end up doing a ton of damage to the upper two demon, but then he grabs her with his ice tentacle, hugs her, and he starts absorbing her, and she eventually just passes away. And then we see one of her students walk in and try to challenge the upper two demon. And she was about to kill him with a very, very good slice, but he was just able to die just in time as he ignores it. Now we cut to Zenitsu versus the other lightning demon. We're calling him the lightning demon because I forgot his name as well. So I apologize. And he is his grandpa defeated himself because the lightning demon was actually one of the grandpa's friends, but he wanted to defeat himself because he was too ashamed to have a demon as basically a son. And then the thunder demon is I don't care, he was not worth time. And then we see the upper one demon giving him the demon blood to then become the demon. So they start fighting, and we find out that Zenitsu only knows the first form of thunder breathing, while the lightning demon only knows all the. But the lightning demon knows everything else but the first breathing, and that's why they got paired up. Then we see them fight, and it looks pretty close, but then we see Zenitsu get hit with a crazy powerful attack, and it does actually end up sending him through a building. Through the building, which that does end up actually, does send him to die. But he actually does not die, and he actually survives, and uses a thunder breathing called Form 7th, and it was so fast it was able to cut the head off of the Thunder Demon. And then Zenitsu starts falling, and the Thunder Demon is like, I'm taking him down with me. But then we see one of the demon students of the Demon Corps save Zenitsu as the Thunder Demon dies. And then we see him healing, and then we see other people trying to defend the demon as he's healing Zenitsu. And as he's healing Zenitsu, he finds out that the upper three, Akaza, has found Tanjiro and Gyuki. Tanjiro starts to have an epic battle with Tanjiro, and then Akaza is able to kind of push Tanjiro out of the way to fight Gyuki. Gyuki has a very intense fight, and Tanjiro does actually also step in to help. As he steps in to help, we see that Gyuki has a demon mark on the side of his face, and he is able to use it to basically go one with Akaza for a little while. Then we see Tanjiro try to help, and he uses his sensei, but he cannot get a good blow off of Akaza because of his compass, and he just knows where every attack is. Then we cut to Tanjiro thinking about what Inosuke taught him with the senses, and like how he just knows where people are like doing things, like where he's about to get attacked on his back or if he's going to get hit on the shoulder. Then we see Tanjiro get a flashback of his dad, and then he thinks to what his dad taught him about basically like a lock-in mode. When he's locked in and he's tapping into everything. His soul is not even on his body. He is so locked in. And we see that mode, and it actually does end up cutting Akaza's head off. But he's actually able to put his head back on and try to regrow it. But this is when Gyuki throws his sword at the head and takes it off. We think that's the end, but then we have the flashback of Akaza as a kid trying to steal money to afford medicine for his dad. And then as he's trying to afford it, he gets caught and he gets actually beaten up by the people who he was trying to get steal by, and gets 3 tattoos on his arms for every time he has tried to steal. That's why he has the tattoos on his arms. Then we see him start beating up everybody that was beating him up. Then they call a dojo master to try to beat the kid, but the dojo master thinks that the person that was able to beat everyone was a adult, but it was actually a kid beating up all of the adults. But then he knocks him out and takes him to his dojo, where he will not only train, he will also be able to take care of his sick daughter. The daughter and Akaza as a kid get closer and closer, and then the fireworks show comes, and he says he can carry her on his back if she feels ready. But then she says, no, I feel too sick, and then he said that it's okay, we can wait till next year. And then we see a cutback to them where the other dojo is trying to compete with the dojo that Akaza is part of. And then Akaza gets strong, he improves, and then the daughter actually doesn't get sick anymore. She's all better. And then we see she asks Akaza to be his husband next to the fireworks. And then we cut back to one of the saddest parts I've ever seen. The other dojo that was trying to compete with the dojo that Akaza was a part of poisoned the water in the well, and it defeated both of them. Akaza was so mad he went over to the other dojo and absolutely started beating them up, and he just killed all of them. He killed all of them. And then we see him walking back, and then we see people were talking about this demon was able to defeat all of these people, but it was just him. So Muzan comes and checks out what what's going on, because he is the one who makes demons, and he did not make a demon over here, so he wanted to see what was happening. And then we see Akaza try to attack him, and then he just ends up dying. But Muzan says, I'm actually looking to create 12 powerful demons, and he wants you to be a part of it. So then we see that he transfers the blood over to Akaza, so Akaza becomes a demon. As he is a demon, he gets flashbacks of his past that he forgot about when he became a demon. And everyone thinks he's about to die, but with his power, he was about to defeat Tanjiro and Geek with the same attack that he used to defeat Rengoku. But he used it on himself. And remember that the only person that can defeat Akaza, or himself, is himself. He's the only one that can defeat himself. So he actually ends up taking his own life. Muzan is trying to bring him back to life, but he doesn't want to. He wants to be with his wife. Then we cut to Muzan being the heart of the Infinity Castle, and then we see everyone is surprised that the upper three lost. Even the upper one is surprised. But yeah, that's kind of how it ends. So hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.